Coming up of a lot of private engineering colleges, there is a good amount of engineering graduates coming out. There is definitely a question mark on the quality of those people coming out and being employable. What I feel is the industry has taken a lot of initiatives with their own training centers. They thought that the last 10 years was a problem, so now they want to come up with they want to share basically their experiences with the new engineers. And I see a very good synergy between the engineering colleges and the entrepreneurs, so that these fresher engineers can be more employable and more trained. And I think TIE and most of the entrepreneurs are playing a good role in that. And I think Mahipal is also coming up with this finishing school, so that add on a lot of things for this region. So that's the initiative which are going ahead, and I think the education institute should partner with the entrepreneurs to come up with more quality future.
Because I know you've got lots of initiatives going. One of them, I think, is...
I think the first key factor will be the market itself. The market which has created so many engineering seats in the state today, let's say. Some estimates are about 40% seats are now going vacant. So the engineering colleges themselves have realized, and that's now a very frequent talk when we discuss with them, that only the survival of the fittest. So if they're not really good, if they're not really producing the kind of students which are actually getting placement, employment, remuneration, I think they know the days are numbered. So that itself will put a corrective action on their part, because that will be the biggest. No amount of external influence is going to make that change. So that realization is there deep within. Most of the main colleges, universities are now talking about that what it takes to make and groom that students. So they're putting policies in place right from the first year. So it's not about just producing anything they like. The second part is the way this entire sector has exploded. You did not have adequate number of good teachers. Preparing a good teacher is not just about degrees and people who maybe a very high ranking. So even if the lovely university may be speaking about having a large number of IT graduates for faculty and other things, it did not really make that qualitative difference in terms of the teaching and the output. So they're also now focusing, and everyone is focusing on polishing the faculty itself. That's one key ingredient which is going to improve the education. How updated your faculty is, how good they have the industry inside. So that focus on the faculty development, both from the state perspective and with the engineering college, is another key requirement, and that's being attended to. In our new policy also we propose, today this entire business of affiliation only based on inspections is really a very rudimentary. It does not add to the quality. So we're proposing an annual accreditation program where a very broad-based assessment of each individual institution is carried out. It's not mandatory. It becomes a policy. Probably it will be a joint acceptability of this. So if you're accrediting each institute so that everyone knows that where this institute probably stands on a range of parameters, that's something which will add to the quality of what we're getting in the market. Then these are about technical education, a whole lot of other youth which is joining the BPO industry, IT, enabled services. That's where we've also, as part of the state program, we have picked up all government colleges and we're giving them 100 hours, what is called soft skill training program, and it's giving good responses. We are able to demonstrate, before and after, and we're finding a difference. Now this has been about a year, it's picking up. The state has now given about 5 crores, they're ready to put in more budget into it, and that's what will make difference across the students who are coming out of the normal government colleges and are ready for all kinds of BPO jobs. So I think all these factors are going to really make that qualitative shift in the employability in terms of those skills which are going to make him a good employee. And I hope the industry will probably feel satisfied, and I'm sure if the industry suggests us anything, if the industry provides us any feedback, we will take it very seriously and whatever the state can do.
I know you are very proactively engaged with your human resource development task force and skill development task forces. So the question is, of the graduating class, roughly what percentage stays back? If you have those kind of numbers.
You know, the demand of the industry itself is very limited. I mean, you have about just about 6,000 official figure or 7,000, which is the employment in Mohali. I mean, the other places are very limited. So at this point of time, a lot of them are actually going out. There's no doubt about it. Mostly because the demand is not there in the region to retain them. And I don't think they are being discarded from the region, and that's why they're going out. I think there's enough quality. Most of the Wipros, Infosys of the world are coming and recruiting from the campuses in the state. So the quality is there, whatever you have at national level. However, most of them are leaving our shores because industry is not developing at the same pace at which the education system is putting people in the system. So that will take, that's where we appeal to everyone, entrepreneurs, DIE, chamber, everywhere, that we need to get more and more startups, more and more job opportunities, and some of the big anchors. I mean, Infosys alone today is employing 20,000 people. They have capacity maybe another 20,000. They receive the maximum number of requests for whatever that branch transfers. A lot of people are putting in requests to Infosys internally to move to Chandigarh. So there's a lot of people who are willing to come here. I think our industry needs to really expand, grow at much bigger pace, much faster pace to really absorb that. The quality issues in human resource will take care of it. I'm very confident.
Manipal, your thoughts?
I guess the good news is that anybody can become an engineer now. So that's the good news. Given it. But the quality, as echoed by everybody, is the serious issue. And I think it's more of a national issue also in our country, because looking at the fundamentals, we just don't have enough PhDs in our country, and we cannot pay the faculty enough to teach our engineers, and that's really the core of the problem. So I think maybe a broader issue over there, where it's like train the trainer. If you have good faculty, you output good engineers. And that's really where a lot of the focus and energy will have to go on this. In the meantime, obviously, it's an opportunity for the industry. And in our small way, we've also taken that up. So we've opened up a finishing school now, and we're over 1,000 students we're outputting now annually in trying to bridge that gap. So at least to create a certain supply, at least in this region. And it's been very well received. And I'm seeing that the passion level, particularly in the rural areas of Punjab, those people are no different than people who have more opportunities. It's just that they need to be given the exposure and the guidance, and their attitude is a lot better in many cases. So fundamentally, it's an opportunity, and at a broader level, I think it's a serious issue for the country.
Thanks, Manipal, and welcome, Pratap. I know it's not fair, but we're going to put you right on the hot seat.
Sorry about that.
There's a discussion going, and it'll be good to get your perspective. The discussion going is, Punjab has a number of engineering colleges, lots of engineers, lots of potential engineers graduating. The question is, what does the industry and the government do to make sure that the folks graduating have the skill sets that the industry requires? Have the folks have the skill set that lots of companies here require?
I think this is one of the a discussion has been on the table for long. But I think I'm just going to do it a little differently this time and talk about what are we doing to align with their dreams. I think what they want to do. And that's where the issue is emerging right now, because I think a lot of things are linked to their own interest areas. What they are really thinking, what they feel as an engineer, when there's a hard-earned money they've given to somebody, they're coming out of college, and what they want to do. Talking to various people, I'm sure you all meet them in various parts. They all look at the jobs which are very different than what their skill sets are. And I think you touched about the finishing school aspect, somewhere to bridge that gap. And I'm sure Mr. Roman's organization all along been now working in that direction to bridge that gap. But I think some fundamental thing has to be done at the college level. I think the pressure has to go back to the college level. I'm not talking only the curriculum, I'm not talking only the aspect here. I think the very basic concept, the very basic aspects of what industry would expect from them, what can be expected to be a world-class professional, just like in the industry. The definition of the world-class professional. I mean, we all hire people, all of us hire people. what motions we go through in training them. I think the amount of training industry has done, which is not a job, and I continuously the amount of money, if you really look at our balance sheets, in the amount of money we have spent in training a college graduate, which he should have done anywhere at the college level, it is not fair for the industry. And over the time, when the margins go down in the industry, this is what starts hurting us. Then you start compromising further, and the whole thing becomes a messy affair. So the real thing is, go back to the, I mean just building in there, that something has to be done at the college level. At the college level, whether it is an aspect related to the more testing, more train the trainers, and you talk about the fundamentals of train the trainers. If the trainers are not there, can we look at the synchronous learning mechanisms? Can we look at the content being deployed to them through a different channels? Can we, because content exists. So it's not the issue of the content doesn't exist. The content is already there to train them. The willingness is there. And I think we have to spend and probably we have to accept the fact that the trainers are not going to be enough ever to train them or to deal with that. So I think some fundamental change is required at the college level to deliver that content to them or build on that aspect from this point onwards, that whether the government can play a lot of roles. Yes, they can play a lot of roles in that direction. There has to be regulation in that direction. There has to be very strong regulation come to the college that you cannot call yourself an engineer. It's good to say that everybody say, but what is the point? Just tell me, look, you cannot go through path third year if you really do not understand this. You're not an engineer. And I think that's where. Thank you.
So on this note, let's open it out to the house. Yes, please.
A couple of issues are students that have been associated both with Punjab Technical University and Punjab Internet for a pretty long time. Issues are known. The only thing, Technical University till date did not have any academic programs. Just last year, we have started MTech in the Punjab Institute of Technology and the campus, Kapurthala campus. And a big academic block is coming up. Idea is to have only post-graduation in the key areas, including IT, the MTechs and PhDs. So that is a positive sign. That now onwards, PTU itself, besides its affiliated colleges who will be doing the BTech, the PTU itself will be doing only the postgraduate and the PhD programs. So that is one step. Second thing is which we are not looking at is the very poor science and math education at the school level. The input to the PTU engineering colleges is so poor, and I don't hesitate to say that a couple of years back, even people who scored negative in the entrance test, they were also admitted. Because the seats are available and there is a political pressure and other thing to fill up the seats, the seats were filled up. And now today, if we have got the 40% seats vacant, it is only because only 25 to 30,000 students have science and mathematics at 10+2 level out of 2.5 lakh students who appear in the board examination. So the number of seats are 35,000. And people who are graduating, students who are graduating from Punjab in the 10+2, they are not adequate in number. So then we go to Jharkhand and we go to other states to get students for admission here. And naturally when they graduate, they like to go back to their own states and near to their own states. So if the potential of the industry is still in the developing stage here, I mean, there's no harm even if the students are graduating here and going forward. The basic issue is, which we always talk, the incubation and entrepreneurship. Punjabi has started now the incubation center in Mohali, and everywhere in the engineering colleges, we are making it a point to encourage students to get into entrepreneurship. Well, not many factors are there. I mean, it's not so easy. Everybody doesn't have the spirit of taking a risk and becoming an entrepreneur. But still, the message is going that if you want to succeed in life, it's not necessary you always look for a job. Third thing is the industry-institute interaction, which has been very poor in this part of the country. I mean, I have been a student in Bangalore, in the IISc Bangalore, and I know how our training was organized there with the industry. And here we did try that students will have 6 months training in industry. Number one, adequate number of industries were not there where all the students could go for training. And secondly, it was just considered as, you know, a period for passing out those papers in which the students did not do well, and that period was not used for getting training in industry. So the industry culture they could never understand. I am happy that the present VC is very keen on this. And in fact, just last week he went to Ludhiana and had addressed all the industry and tried to persuade them that please accept our students for 6 months training. And I think if it's only understanding culture of industry. If the students spend 6 months in industry, certainly, I mean, they become more close to industry than they will be otherwise. We are trying that some of our faculties, they go to industry at least for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You are producing students for industry which you have never visited. In fact, most of these faculty members would have never visited. They don't understand that culture. They don't understand how the industry works. So this is another step they are taking in that. One more thing which we are today talking about IT. You know, our former Prime Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he had mentioned IT is India tomorrow, but BT is Bharat tomorrow. Why did he say that BT? Which is the biotechnology. The reason was that BT has impact on everything, agriculture, health, environment, industry. You talk of a field in which BT is not required. And marriage of IT and BT is wonderful. When he was, Mr. Dhariwal was mentioning the new area, Mr. Srivastava was mentioning, I think the BT, the bioinformatics and other areas, I think we have to do it in a big way, and possibly we have to involve our NRI brothers in this area, because most of the work is now being done abroad in this area. So we must look at BT in this part of the country. The last point, we talk always about single window. I remember about 10 years back, a team of officers from Punjab had visited California, and they addressed people and all those things. And one of the members, Kamal Rekhi, you know, everybody knows about Kamal Rekhi. He said, you are talking of single window. People have removed these windows and they have open doors. So please don't talk of single windows, talk of open doors. And in Punjab Infotech, whenever there is a board meeting, we always talk about it. Vamaji, let us try to open the doors rather than having single windows and this and that. Thank you very much.
Now they do have open doors. Given the new offices that we've checked out, so they certainly do have open doors. All points well taken. Any other questions? Yes.
I have a question for Mr. Rakesh and Mr. Ajay. So there's a lot of talk about how the revenues from this region should grow threefold in next 5-6 years or so. And one thing, Mr. Srivastava, you referred to is that next 10 years will be majorly different from the last 10 years. In last 10 years, we saw that there was such a huge boom in IT services industry, people-oriented, so hire many people and provide services. What we have been seeing on the ground, and maybe Puneet can vouch for that as well, there are a lot of product companies that are kind of establishing shop now in India. These are entrepreneurs who have worked in various kind of industries or with IT companies and now want to set up product kind of capabilities and develop their own IP skills. Now, is there any kind of focus to establish this region's niche in the overall IT industry? And that's how, at least my suggestion would be, that's how we go address the market, find the niche and kind of grow there. Trying to do the same things that worked in last 10 years may not work in the next 10 years. But I don't hear too much of discussion about how can we encourage the product companies, how can we kind of facilitate the IT or IT setup, IT establishment, etc. What are the kind of thoughts on that? How are you kind of addressing that particular area, which a lot of people say is going to grow big time in the next 10 years?
I'll open up this question to the two policymakers here, Rakesh and then Ajay.
Your point is well taken. Our policy currently addresses in a very small way. We do say that yes, if you're filing patents and IPRs and other things, so to some extent we promise that we will take care of those processing charges and some degree of incentivizing. Even certification, if you're looking at quality of products and services, the company has to get a whole lot of certifications from different institutions. That's also we've tried to address that yes, up to certain limit, that expenditure should be reimbursed, just to encourage companies to go on for certification and in these areas. As you said, area developing a niche in a particular vertical, particular segment, how the state government can play a role. I think one could be in terms of the talent which is made available in that particular field. So it's whether animation, whether it is customer relations. I know of a product a Jalandhar-based company has made, and he's successfully installed worldwide. I mean, he's earning revenues to the tune of about 70 crore and told. And similarly, out in Mohali, there's a company which does a lot of SAP product outsourcing. So SAP is outsourcing to them real new areas, the new versions of SAPs are getting written in Mohali. So there are people who are without even otherwise kind of a support, direct government support, so to say, are into that field. Yes, it's a difficult area. Probably the easy way is the services, but we all need to put our minds and heads together to find and support such kind of activities, companies which are into this space. If there is anyone, our interventions are limited, as I said, in terms of certification, in terms of, to some extent, reimbursement of those expenditure, and also the setting up incubation center. I think one way to look at it is that if there are a bunch of people who want to straight away jump into that area, I think we can support them in terms of providing a space.
It is sold out, if I may.
We concentrated on the services and other things. There were quite few companies who have come to the product region. And if you see, to make people more inclined toward product development, we have introduced that best product award from the region from last 2 years in e-revolution. The only reason was to create awareness in the people, because the real future is if you are going to be into the product development. And the best part is this region has the manpower, or it has been developed in, if you see Gurgaon, it has been developed as a BPO hub. So this region has a niche that they are developed into a software development and into product development area. So if you see next 10 years growth, we have to concentrate a lot on this, and I think government should also come up with some scheme where they can help this product development company, because I can understand there are a lot of investment and a lot of